Welcome to the Global Taiwan Institute newly launched podcast, GTI Insights. I'm Marzia Borsoi-Kelly and the Program Manager at the Global Taiwan Institute. Our first guest today is Crison Chien. Crison is a professor in Geography, Environment and Development Studies at the National Taiwan University. He's also an advisor to the Taiwan Alliance of International Development, which is a civic association advocating concepts of international development and cooperation from the viewpoint of non-governmental organization. So welcome, Crison, and thank you for doing this interview with us. Thank you for being our guest.
Thank you very much.
So we are talking today about development assistance. Can you please tell us a little bit about the Taiwan model?
Okay. Thank you very much for the Maria's asking me to come over to here, and then it's my honor to share with you about the Taiwan, what Taiwan can do to the whole world in terms of the international development ideas. And I think that is what we call about the Taiwan models, that actually Taiwan can contribute their past development experiences domestically and then internationally ideas and then the practices to the other countries. Number one is about the domestic transformations, and I think some people may thinking about the Taiwan, actually the way it's understanding the Taiwan is the Taiwan economic miracle. That is the very important in the past in Taiwan, but actually that is the previous models only focusing on the economic development. But actually that has a certain kind of the good things happening, but also along with the other sustainable development, such as the gender discrimination, such as the environmental pollutions. But the most important thing is right now that Taiwan become another very important in terms of the social transformations. It has a lot of achievements such as the healthcare issues. According to some of the surveys such as SHDC Aspect survey in 2014, the Taiwan healthcare is the most affordable and best quality country in the whole world according to their expatriate surveys. And the other one is that Taiwan will be the first country in Asia to legalize the gay marriage. If you compare with the Netherlands, that is the first country to legalize the gay marriage in Europe and trigger a lot of the transformation in terms of the gender equality, in terms of the gender awareness in Europe and the whole world. So that is also another contribution has been achievement by Taiwan. So Taiwan can share this kind of the very successful social transformation stories and experiences to other countries. So Taiwan can be the very good platform for other countries, not only in Asia but also in the world, to learn how to make a better transformation from the below, from the civil societies activities. That is the first dimension of the domestic transformation. The second dimension is Taiwan also can do is to mobilize their resources and to put their energies, powers, resources to help other countries to become better, to make a better life, the better of their livelihood. And that is actually, Taiwan is the one of the very few countries in the world that used to receive the aid from other countries, right now become the aid donor countries. And it used to be very stay focused only on the diplomacies, but in recent years also because of the rise of the civil societies as well as the rise of the democratization. So a lot of the civil society also doing together in the international development projects. You can see the many organizations put their efforts to make resources and overseas. And some even establish their local branches, such as the Taiwan Foundation of the Children Care and Families. So that is also let me know about the Taiwan civil societies is cooperate with the local civil societies outside of the Taiwan in other countries to do the better jobs. And that is very important because if we say about the development assistance is sometimes just become the state-driven. And that is only state-to-state negotiation, state-to-state coordination, and make a lot of the bad consequences. The best example is China. They only state-to-state government to discuss about the assistances and end up at lots of the countries such as Sri Lanka, such as Djibouti become the debt diplomacy. So Taiwan is very different. It's through the NGO, through the civil societies, help other civil societies locally, and to become kind of for the interest of the people rather than for the interest of the state. So that is another way. Actually, Taiwan has been transformed in terms of the international development. So Taiwan models domestically that has a great social transformation. The other one is internationally that has promotes certain kind of the ideas from the NGO, from the civil society organizations, the cooperation perspectives to make the other people become better. So I think that is actually the very unique case of the Taiwan can really contribute to the other countries. Yeah.
Thank you. This is very interesting, and as you raised the point of like how is Taiwan different when it comes to development assistance, and you mentioned that contrary to China, who's only focusing to, like with the Belt and Road Initiative and mostly infrastructure based, and it's more in transaction from like government to government. While Taiwan is more interested to provide development aid in recipient country according to what the people actually need. So it's more of a long-term project that helps the recipient countries, as you said. It's more interested in what they actually need and addressing the needs of the recipient countries. And also, as you said, Taiwan just provides so much help, and there's so many programs, and oftentimes it's not even known. For example, it's very, like you said, from a global health point of view and healthcare. Taiwan does so much. For example, just last year in 2018, many doctors from different medical universities in Taiwan were sent to very remote areas in the Amazon of Peru to provide free medical checkups to the people there. And Taiwan helps a lot with Zika, helped West Africa during the Ebola outbreaks. And this is just in the health part. And like as you said, there's programs, and when it comes to education and agriculture, and also the work the NGOs do when it's a bottom-up, long-term focus on what the recipient countries' needs really are. So it's a great model, it's a great success story, and definitely something that should continue. And we want to, we hope that Taiwan does more when it comes to development assistance. What do you? How can there be more cooperation, according to you, between Taiwan and other countries than when it comes to development assistance? What more can Taiwan do, especially in coordination with other countries?
Actually, in the recent years, Taiwan has also been transformed. They used to be very focusing on the diplomatic partners. They only they focusing on the diplomatic partners and then doing the bilateral projects. But in recent years, Taiwan has been expanding their ideas in some of the small-scale projects, such as in the non-diplomatic partners. One of the examples is Taiwan cooperated with the Mercy Corps of the American and to do the refugee camp construction projects in Jordan, and that is one of the examples. The other example is actually the Pingdong Christian hospitals cooperate with the Norwegian Foundation and to do the community development projects in Malawi. And the other one is the one German foundation cooperated with the other Taiwan organization doing the projects in Vietnam. So that is joining together to saying something about the kind of the triangle cooperation has been happening. And that is certainly things that Taiwan can do many, for such as the IT projects, such as the medical service projects, such as the agricultural project, such as the civil sciences, that kind of the ideas. And in the recent years, particularly in Asia, there is a certain way of the rise of the authoritarian regime, and that is very frontier challenges is happening to many other Asia countries. So that is the other way. Taiwan can be a very good platform to cooperate with other countries in terms of how to do certain things together in order to become the resistant against the rise of the authoritarian regime. So by doing that, so Taiwan certainly can mean the better preparations. I think the number one preparation must be the whole of the paradigm shift in terms of the diplomacy. They should be only focused on the diplomacy, become more on the international development. And then need to change the mindset of the Ministry of the Foreign Affairs, but also need to be reorganization of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The other one is we agree there is a rise up of the civil society groups in Taiwan. There has democratization happening still continually in Taiwan, but the scale, the capability of the civil society is relatively not that big compared with other countries. So there also has a certain immediate needed efforts need to be done in terms of how to scale up the civil society activities. So I think we need to do more and to get better prepared in order to facilitate, to fund, to reorganizing the more multilateral cooperations among different countries, not just only Taiwan and the other country, but also has a multi-able triangle, even four parts cooperations together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fascinating. So finally, do you have any final thoughts you want to leave our viewers with?
I think the most important place to understanding of the Taiwan experiences is certainly about the democratization and the civil societies. I think Taiwan is one of the very important examples to show the democratization and the rise of the civil society also can have a certain kind of the impact or the response to the change of the foreign policy or the kind of interactions. Mm-hmm. The reason why the Taiwan foreign policy or foreign aid policy right now is expanding to involvement of the civil societies and involve of that kind of the more the multilateral or cooperations. I think it's just because of they are kind of the response to the democratization. Mm-hmm. Because of the democratization, so people asking more transparency. People asking the aid must be more effectiveness. Mm-hmm. So Taiwan changed the law, set up the new law for the international development cooperations, and then the organization has become much more transparent. They are looking for the more humanitarian projects rather than the political projects. Mm-hmm. And also there has the rise of the civil society, so the civil society has more opportunities, more capabilities to go abroad, to help other countries by their own means, so they can cooperate together with certain foreign direct investment aid. And the even more important is that actually the whole of the Taiwan aid is not just only for their diplomatic partners, but also together with some of the global North countries or the organizations such as Mercy Corps, such as the Asian Against Hunger, in order to do the humanitarian help. Such as in Syria crisis in Jordan, and such as the Haiyan hurricane typhoon crisis in Philippines, and then such as the Nepal earthquake. There is a certain kind of the post disaster reconstruction project is cooperated between Taiwan and other countries, global North countries, and that is the way to show the recognition of the other important global partners to recognize the position of Taiwan. So that is kind of the democratization is interplay or interacting with the foreign policy and foreign aid policy. I think that is extremely important dimension to understanding how the civil society and democratization can play certain roles in the foreign affairs issues. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It was very fascinating. Thank you so much for doing this interview with us and being our guest. And hopefully we'll see you again on our podcast. And so I want to thank our viewers and stay tuned for our next episode. Thank you.
Thank you.